Absolutely. Guys, that'll move us on over into the quarterback, Ryan Tannehill, who we already discussed, took over week 6 from Marcus Mariota, finished quarterback 22 last year, threw for just over 2,700 yards, 22 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. What are your thoughts around Mr. Ryan Tannehill?
I think Ryan Tannehill I think he's a good quarterback for that Tennessee offense. They're not going to ask him to sit back and throw the ball 30, 35 times a game. So I think that's okay. I think Ryan Tannehill is a smarter quarterback than what a lot of people give him credit for. He was in the depths of Miami and suffered through some really pitiful Dolphins teams. But even in the midst of that, his best finish, he was able to finish as QB 8. I don't think that he quite gets there this year. I think he's going to be middle of the pack. I think you're going to see a quarterback, 16, 17. If he has, some gangbusters year, you might see him creep up to, 13, but he's not a top 10 guy. But Ryan Tannehill is serviceable if he can keep his interceptions down to a minimum. I say minimum being like, you'd like less than 10, and truly you'd like close to a 3-to-1 ratio. So wherever you think his touchdowns are going to finish, if you think he's going to have, 24 touchdowns, okay, well, that means I want 8 interceptions or less. So if he can keep to that ratio, he's going to be very serviceable. He's a very solid option as a QB2 in a super flex league or in a 2 QB format that you can get later on in the draft and be happy with your selection there, that you're going to get some consistency out of that for where you're drafting him. But I don't know that Ryan Tannehill is ever going to blow you away with a 5 touchdown game. Like, he's just not equipped to do so. And that team is not equipped to put up Star Wars numbers through the passing game. So you have to understand what you're going to get with him. And as long as you can build a team around what you're going to have with him, he's extremely serviceable for where you're getting him.
So I have thoughts on Ryan Tannehill. Kevin, they're right in line with you. I'm not looking at Ryan Tannehill as a quarterback. Obviously, you guys know where I'm at when it comes to drafting a quarterback. I'm drafting a guy that's going to play 13, 14 games, and then I need a backup. And I don't know that Ryan Tannehill, I'll probably spend the draft capital on somebody else a little earlier than I would on Ryan Tannehill. That offense, it's 50% run, 50% pass. What are you going to do? You can't expect him to have those gangbusters numbers that, you hope a quarterback can kind of carry you through a fantasy football week. That's just not what you're going to get out of Ryan Tannehill. Serviceable quarterback, don't get me wrong, and a good quarterback for what that team asks of him. But for fantasy football purposes, I'm looking elsewhere.
Ryan Tannehill's a guy that I can put in as far as a matchup, if that's really good, or a bye-week fill-in type of thing.
Tannehill, like we've said earlier, Tannehill provides great value at that point. If you think he has that upside, there is great value being able to pick him up late in drafts. So is the potential there? Yes, based off of his 12-game sample size from last year. Yes, the potential is there to do it. I want to see it in 2020 before I truly hop on that bandwagon, because I think now that teams have all this film on him inside of this Tennessee offense, I think you're not going to see those glowing numbers here this upcoming season. But he will play all 16 games, so his total numbers will look better. So take that as you will.
No, you're probably right there, and I think that he'll actually carry some of that forward, because you're right. He did have a tremendous back half of the season, won some people some weeks, maybe helped win you a championship. Was a guy that was very consistent when he came in as a QB1 there. Just a guy that's, I see him more this year as a streaming option or a bye week fill-in type of guy.